Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to today's Raw review and opinions video. I felt like this show was much better than SmackDown, but still below the average standard. I think the main event of Drew against Sami was not very exciting. I think we definitely could have had a more exciting main event than that. But I really like the promo exchange at the start. I really like the Kofi moment where his mom walked away. Obviously, as a Wyatt 6 fan, brilliant to see Dexter out there. Bit of a short match, though. Really would have liked a bit more to that, considering we don't see this group very often. Bit disappointing that he didn't have his own entrance or his own Titantron, or he just really felt like he came walking out and then did a very short match. And then, of course, we got the Wyatt 6, we got Final Testament. So, yeah, I would have liked more for that. I mean, I think we've been quite patient. So it would have been nice to have seen Dexter kind of spread his wings a little bit more, rather than just feel like part of a group. He just felt like a dude that was part of a group. I would have liked to have seen him kind of go out and, as we said, you know, maybe put his own marker down, really establish his own character. I didn't think there was the time really to achieve that. But other than that, a lot of stuff was, you know, throwaway. I mean, Tozawa didn't grab me. It wasn't really a match I was into. Dominik against Damian didn't grab me. We've seen it before. Like, it just didn't do it for me. As we said, Drew, Sami. I love Sami, and I'm a fan of Drew's work, but for me, that is not an exciting main event because we've seen it so many times before, and they even kind of highlighted that. Drew was like, why do you want this fight? You've never beaten me. I suppose that kind of added a little bit because I did wonder, could this be the night that Sami does? But he didn't. So, yeah, I think for me, this was much better than what we got from SmackDown the other day. I still think it was lacking, but I'm probably around a 6, maybe 6.25. Perfectly acceptable watch. I was not bored. I suppose the problems I had was we do a watch along, and obviously here in the UK, they cut out a load of the adverts. So it meant that I kept falling out of sync with people that were watching in other countries, and that didn't help my appreciation of the show. It was very stop-start and pausing and seeing when people were back, and so that was a bit of a nightmare for me. I mean, just another reason to hate taped shows. So yeah, I'm thinking about 6, but I'm very interested to know what you lot have got to say. Oh yeah, we didn't even mention Natalya not winning in the opening match. So our opening match got a good 88%. EO winning. I just don't feel like EO needs to go down as the first women's Intercontinental. I don't really get the feeling that she embodies what the Intercontinental's about. I always look at the Intercontinental as being like a workhorse, more of a ring technician type belt. You know, I think of Mr. Perfect, and I think of Jericho, and I think of Bret Hart, and I think of Shawn Michaels, and I know there's been many different Intercontinental champions over the years, but those are the ones that I think of. I think of workhorses, ring technicians, and there's no denying that EO is fantastic in the ring, and there's no denying that she doesn't work hard. But for me, no one is going to embody that better than Natalya. So everyone knows I've made it very clear that I really wanted Natalya to be the one that was going to get this. And really, there's no saving this. I've seen people say, you know, Natalya might get it further down the road. For me, it was all about who's going to be the first. Being the first was the prize. Anything that kind of comes after this, you know, I'm hoping and something good will come out of it for Natalya. But she could have been the first Intercontinental Women's Champion, and now seemingly it looks like she's not going to be, and that is very frustrating for me. Chad against Tozawa, you lot said was good 85%, so seems like you lot weren't crazy about that either. Dominik against Damian, you went with good 90%. Miz against Dexter, you said was good 91%, and Drew Sami, good 89%. So none of these matches able to get even above low 90s good. That's really frustrating. That is really frustrating. So I think my 6 is going to be very, very fair there, to be honest. So, yeah, let's go into the chat and see what you lot think. See what you lot have said. So, John Elite said, I can't wait for Penta's debut on Raw's Netflix premiere. Even more cracks in the Judgment Day. Could I open the door, be hinting at Alexa's return? Maybe Seth called Drew. Seth calling Drew, I think, is a good shout. I think the Alexa thing for me is at the moment, I feel like it's people just getting a bit overexcited. I opened the door and all of that. We've heard those lines quite a lot. You know, that's not like a new line that's come out of nowhere. Like, that's a line that we've heard many times before. I don't even know if this is a new door that's been opened or if we're still referring to a door that's been opened previously, like the door that Nikki walked through and Dexter walked through. So I opened the door. I don't know that this is a new door. I don't know that something else has been opened. And I can't also shake the fact that there was that report that Alexa was going to come in, but she wouldn't be joining the Wyatt Six at first when she did. There was the rumor and report that she was going to come in and be a different character, and then she would be kind of recruited by the Wyatt Six a little further down the road. So, like, the idea of us needing to go and get Alexa hasn't presented itself either. I'm very confused by all of this, to be honest. Like, I really think the connections to Alexa right now feel like a reach for me because we don't need her. Nikki is not outnumbered by, you know, the females. I know that we've got Paul Ellering on the outside, and maybe they're thinking that Alexa could deal with Paul Ellering, maybe. But I don't know. That's a weird reason for Uncle Howdy to go missing so that he can get Alexa so that she can deal with Paul Ellering. Like, that to me just doesn't feel like a strong enough story. I think we definitely could have come up with something better than that. And as we said, the long-standing rumor is that she's not going to come straight into the group. So could that have changed? Of course. We do know that she's going to come in early 2025, but I don't know. I would not go and get Alexa for this. I just don't feel like, you know, I would want Nikki being, like, attacked 2-on-1, 3-on-1. You know, PFC are absolutely battering Nikki. And it's like, do you know who could help Nikki now? Do you know what I mean? Like, at least then, that would feel like, oh, come on, Alexa. Come and save Nikki. Right now, there's not really a reason to root for Alexa's return, so I'm not saying that that's not where we're going. I'm saying that we could go that way. I wouldn't go that way. This doesn't kind of, at the moment, strike me as like, yeah, that's what's happening, you know? So I'm seeing a lot of excitement around that. But I don't know. It's not excitement that I share in, to be honest. So, John, shout out to you. Carl said it was bang average at best, and it was saved from being even worse by Drew, Io, and the Bloodline. I didn't watch live. I basically skipped the whole show, apart from Drew and Io's stuff, because the rest didn't interest me. But I love that they both won. Did Sami and Jay get taught a lesson about what happens when you mess with Drew? Wishing you a very Merry Christmas. Same to you, Carl. I hope you have a good Christmas, buds. Al Patata said the IC tournament was a great match. JD as Santa was 10 out of 10. It should have been Howdy, though. Miz versus Dexter. Wyatt's finally have a counter plan for Cross, but the counter plan was to fight in a 4v6. It was weird. New Day. How does family who aren't wrestlers always manage to not break character? Drew versus Sami. Poor Sami. If only he wasn't injured. Am I supposed to believe that Sami would have won? No, he lost because Drew is better. My rating is a 7. I love the ending. People chanting OTC are cute. I love you, Solo. El Patata, thank you. Brendan says, go Canucks. The Falkirk fan said, Daze, here's something. What is it? It is the Penta logo. So, Falkirk fan, thank you. Cowboys, Seahawks, Boos State fan. I don't know how you pronounce that. It was really good. I feel like next week is going to be good. Dexter versus Miz match was oddly fast. Yes. And so was Damian versus Dom. Sami should have beaten Drew, I think. And Io winning was the right choice. Overall, 7.5. Good day, Days. Stay gold. J Omega says, even though the show was taped, it was very enjoyable. 7 out of 10 from me, says J Omega. Kiki gives it 5 out of 2. Dean said Raw was okay. None of the matches were that good. I hate these tape shows. The in-ring and the show itself seems as good as the live shows and matches. Hang on, I'm getting lost here. Raw was okay. None of the matches that good. I hate the tape shows. The in-ring and the show itself seems as good as the live shows and matches. I don't get that bit. Can't wait for Netflix, but love the stream. See you Friday. See you Friday, Dean. Nishi said Raw was good, although it was pre-recorded. I love Drew and Sami's promo. I agree. And love the way that the Raiders team with Damian, although it was a holiday episode, lots of storyline progression as well, including the Cold War between Liv and Finn. Matthew said, great show. The next to last Raw before Netflix was great. Moment of the night for me was Kofi's mom walking out on her son. And the guy with the WWE hat said it all with his reaction. And Dirty Dom's cold shoulder was epic. JT and S said the Wyatt 6 segment, of course, was my favourite. Overall, Raw was good. Sami gave it his all. Jay made an appearance. Good build for Netflix. But overall, I give it 7 out of 10. Can't wait for next Monday. And I'm not going to sleep all week thinking what happens now that he opened the door. And people are excited by that. Real Wrestling Fan says, I don't know, it's so frustrating that Natty lost. Wyatt 6-match segment, whatever that was, honestly wasn't good. I'm thinking a 5 out of 10, mainly because of Kofi's mom. Good to see that parents are still disciplining their children. Daze and community, Merry Christmas. So there we go. Real Wrestling Fan, Merry Christmas to you, my friends. Jazza said, bring on the Netflix debut. Joey Mama said, honestly, it felt great. Just relax after all the stress of Christmas. Luckily, I was able to avoid major spoilers. So I'm going to give it a 7.3. But Merry Christmas, everyone. So Joey Mama, shout out to you. Uncle Revel said, wasn't horrible, but wasn't great. Feels like we are stuck in the same slow moving pace to get us through the year. Commercials were all out of whack, throwing the pace off even more. Good to see the Wyatts win a battle. The door is open. 6 out of 10. Chris said, hello, Daze. Hello, Chris. Said, I had such low expectations for Raw. What with it being taped and all. At least we got a few talking points. 6.5. Wanted to say, too bad, so sad on your pick of Natty going all the way. But if you look on the bright side, we could see Dakota versus Io for the title. Io wins it. Who's your pick? I don't give a flip. I don't care. There is no bright side with Dakota Io. I could not care less about that match, but honestly, I think it's a disgrace. I really do. I'm really frustrated with it. I think Natalya has been around for 14 years, something like this. In fact, maybe even before that, if you look at developmental. And the amount that she has been through with Total Divas, going through the whole Divas era, and, where they're fighting to get onto TV. And then she goes through that. Loads of people from that era are no longer with us, of course, having lost their jobs. People like Alicia Fox, for example. People like Cameron, for example. Aksana, all these kinds of names. And she's still here. And she's someone that is highly respected, highly regarded, putting in that work. I just look at the longevity. I look at the family name. I look at the in-ring ability. I look at the lack of achievements on her resume. I think, didn't we look, and it's 3 singles titles in 15 years or something like this. And that's in a women's division where getting world title opportunities is nowhere near as hard as in the men's division. And I just find it deeply frustrating that they've not repaid her and thanked her for all of that work that she's done. Putting people through their paces, doing training sessions, welcoming new girls to the main roster by giving them a good showing. And I just find it so frustrating. So for me, Dakota Io being some bright spot, not even flipping close. I couldn't give a flip about that match. I mean, honestly, I love Lyra, but even Lyra winning this thing ain't gonna cheer me up on this one. So I think it's honestly, I think it's really bad. I think it's really bad. I can't even find the words. I can't even find the words. I think this was such an easy thing for them to do, to dare I say, do the right thing. And yeah, I'm just really disappointed in it. Watson said to think that next week's Raw will be the last Raw on TV, spanning over decades, is a crazy thought. Rowdy Warrior says Raw 23rd of December promo Sami and Drew, HSM EO's dive, MVP Wade for Carrion Joe, match of the night was Sami Drew, overall 3.8 out of 5 bells. Drew, Sami, Jay save Sami. Pierce, PFC, EO takes Zayn's spots. EO versus Alba versus Natalya, clean pin. I don't know what this BSP and IRP mean. I don't know what that means. Recap, Netflix kickoff show Logan is a biatch. Chad versus Tozawa, clean. This is like code. I feel like I'm reading some kind of computer code. BSP priest dash raider dash IRP dash bad day. I mean New Day dash Kofi's mom leaves. BSP New Day Ray. I feel like this is like a rundown of the show, but done in like binary. So, Rowdy Warrior, thank you. Kelly the Wise Lady says, let me just say it. Hashtag justice for Natty. Let's go. You rant. You rant on my behalf. Trips must be smoking those funny sticks because that was wrong. The only thing that would justify it is if they plan to get it on her at Mania. Rant more. Mama Kofi walking out. Man, that was cold, but it was well deserved. We didn't have any food fight matches. No Santa Claus. Well, we had JD as Santa Claus. Nothing festive. The match with Dexter Lumis was good, but again, no howdy. Can't wait for January 6th. The main event was okay. Honestly, I had low expectations, and they were met. I could have given it a 6.5, but after what they did to Natty, it goes down to 4.5. Yeah, I didn't factor Natty into my score, really. Mine might have gone down to 2. No, I don't know. I'm going to just stick with my 6, but yeah, I don't really want to drop my score because someone I wanted to win didn't win. That's yeah. I'm not gonna follow you with that, but I totally understand where you're coming from. I hear you. Raymond said, hello Daze, my friend. I thought Raw tonight was pretty good. Can't stand pre-tape shows, but the matches were great. I enjoyed them a lot. Wyatt 6 stuff was interesting. So I will rate Raw 8 out of 10. So Raymond, shout out to you, buds. Callum said, I didn't mind it. Dexter versus Miz was short but fun. Where's Howdy? Is he evolving? Well, I don't know because, like, I just feel like this is too soon. They only made their debut in, like, was it June? So, I mean, we're 6 months later. This is only their second feud, and already he's got to dig deep. Already he's got to, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like their debut should have been enough to have carried them through at least until Mania, right? And probably beyond that, right? I mean, when The Undertaker came out in 1990, we didn't, like, start changing that character 6 months later because he wasn't good enough, you know? Like, this is mental. This is mental to me. So I don't know that he's evolving or changing. I don't know. Maybe he is going to get Alexa, but again, I go back to my other point, which is I really don't feel like this storyline is strong enough for her. I don't feel like the table is set. I don't feel like I'm desperate to see Alexa come in and save the day at the moment. I mean, there was just one setback where, you know, that salt or powder or whatever was thrown in Howdy's face. And it's like, you could go and get Braun, or, do you know what I mean? I feel like go and get someone else from NXT, or I don't really understand. Get Jason Baker if you need to. Like, there's so many people you can get. Like, I just don't feel like this needs Alexa, this story at the moment. And I don't feel like Howdy needs to evolve after 6 months. So we are definitely going down some roads that I personally would not have took this story down. But, well, let's see, shall we? Let's see. Where did we get to? Here. So, Callum said, I didn't mind it. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. TJB official said Raw was 5. It was decent. A load of nothing. Drew Sami promo 3.8. I really enjoyed it, and I have been loving McIntyre as a heel. EO versus Natalya versus Alba 1.5 or 2. I thought Natty should have won, but I'm happy Sky is getting showcased as a single star. Chad Gable versus Akira Tozawa 3. Decent. I just don't get how or why we are getting back American made. Yeah, I'm confused by that as well. Dexter Lumis Miz 3. I like seeing Lumis in matches. I want to see more. Mama Kingston rejects Kofi. 1,000,000 out of 10. Wrestling fans since day one. Let's see if Natalya should have won a match. It's a little predictable on what's going on with the first Raw between Roman and Solo. Bloodline will interfere, which is going to make OG Bloodline come out and send them away. And that's when we get Roman winning the match. Daze, where do we see the New Day story going? Do you think they should be in a feud or keep doing promos? Keep doing promos. If they do be in a feud, I hope it's against Ray and Dragon Lee. It absolutely could be after the segment we've had today with Ray backstage. So yes, that could be the direction it's going. I'm not in a rush to get there. I think them coming out and trying to win over the crowds and having the crowd booing them is doing more for them than just them being in like a feud. So I think them trying to talk to the fans and the fans making it very clear they're not interested. I actually thought this week was a genius week. I mean, if you want to do something different, having Kofi's mom there, and I don't know if that was his mom or if they just got an actress. I genuinely don't know. But either way, like, that's very creative. That is not the norm. You know, to sit in a meeting room and go, right, what are we going to do with New Day this week? You know, you could say backstage interview. You could say interview in the ring. You could say put them on commentary. You could say put them in a match with some jobbers. You could say start off a feud with another team. Like, there's so many options on the table as to what you could say. Have Kofi's mom in the crowd and be disappointed with him. I don't even know if I would ever get to that as a suggestion. So I feel it was very outside the box, very creative. So to be honest, I hope Ripley loses her match on the first Raw on Netflix, because I can see her going to SmackDown. Stream gets a 10, Raw gets a 625. Maybe a little lower. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Good night, my friend. Good night to you, buds. Merry Christmas. Let's unfull screen that. B said felt rushed, like they hurried up, got people to the ring. Felt they hurried up and they got people to the ring, rolled a bit, then the matches were over. It's like WWE is phoning it in at the end of their USA run. I am the colour red said, got to think Natty not winning is building to a swerve. Wyatt 6 I opened the door glitch was great. Hopefully the start of an Alexa return. It reminded me of Nightbird, which I miss so much. Carrion's response on Raw Talk was interesting. Yeah, he sort of agreed with Miz, which was unusual. He sort of said, like, wow, you know, he's right. Like, that did backfire. And I wonder what his next move will be. Sinan said, this was a pretty good show considering it was taped. Wyatt 6 match was awesome. JD as Santa was awesome. Really good ending. Happy Christmas. Leonard said, good. I saw the new teaser for that red circle. Angie said, I might be a bit late, but I think it's obvious BS that Natty didn't win that triple threat. I like EO and all, but Natty deserves it so much more. Also, Merry Christmas, everyone. Brady, very excited. Hashtag Alexa Bliss. NS Mommy said, I didn't expect a whole lot because of the holidays and the whole January 6th arriving, but it was good. Mad as hell over Natty. Interested on the Wyatt 6 post. Mama Kofi should have clotheslined him. Thomas Scott said it was pretty good overall. I was honestly expecting a little bit longer match between Miz and Dexter, but even still, it was a fun match. Io Sky going in as Kyrie's replacement wasn't a shocker. And Al said Dexter Lumis' match was too short, so 6.5. There we go. I did sort of race through some of those because I saw that there was 34, which is a little bit more than we normally get to. So I knew I was going to have to try and go a little bit quicker. So, yes, thank you to everyone that contributed. As I said, I wanted to make sure we got to all of those Let's have a look at the score, shall we? Seems like this one is a little lower. Yeah, so I actually think it was comfortably better than SmackDown. I think it was comfortably better. That is not quite reflecting here. It's better, but not by loads. And I think it was by a decent amount. So I would like to see a bit more love for Raw in the score, because I do think it should be comfortably ahead of this. But it is also below its usual standard, I agree. So there we go. That was today's review and opinions. We will be back later for the WEP and NXT. And of course, we'll have another review and opinions after that. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.